What's up, y'all? This is the Curious One, and we're at the ugly table. I guess before I get started, don't worry about the guns hanging on the wall. They're just old airsoft guns that I had painted, and I liked the way that they had come out. So even though I shot them so much that they no longer work, I just couldn't really bring myself to just chunking them away. So I just hung them on the wall as like ornaments or some shit. Anyways, got home today and there was a big box on my stairs, and pretty excited about this figure here. So this is what we got, and he doesn't like to stand up very well. It's in the clamshell. I'm not really a big fan of the clamshell. They're usually hard to get into, and you gotta tear them apart usually. But I do really like the John Wick movies. I do think that it's kind of like on like a staircase. Like the first one was really good, second one was pretty good, but not as good as the first one, and the third, you know what I mean? But that's basically the way the sequels normally work. So it's kind of expected. Nice picture of the figure here on the side. And then some more pictures on the back, and some stuff you can pause and read if you'd like. Nothing really on this side or on the bottom. So this guy does seem to come with some pretty good accessories. We're gonna bust it open and let y'all take a look at it. So he comes with 8 accessories, and also, as you can tell, he's actually not in the 6-inch scale, which I'm kind of bummed about. I would have liked to have been able to display him with the ninjas or some of the other stuff that I have, but he's actually a 7-inch figure. So actually just above 7 inches. As you can see here, almost 7.5. Alright, I guess we'll start with the accessory I care the least about. So it's one of the gold coins, but it's like made of plastic and the detail's not the greatest. To be honest, I could take it or leave it. Had they decided not to put this in there, I wouldn't have cried about it, to be honest. And you get a pistol. Let's see. Pretty nice looking pistol. Awesome. Oh wow. So that's cool. Shit. I screwed everything up. That's hilarious. Alright, in case you haven't figured it out all on your own, I forgot to unpause the recording a few times, so we have to go back through the accessories again. I already showed you the pistol, which I believe is VP9. So we'll start here with the a holstered pistol. Now the clip isn't a working clip, it's just molded on there. There is no way to attach this to the figure. It's just an accessory that, I don't know, if you had like a diorama or whatever, you could have sitting like on the end table or something like that. It's a left-handed holster unless he's carrying it in the small of his back. I could have swore in the movie he carried on his right hip, but I could be wrong. So it's not a usable accessory, but it's still pretty cool to have if you have other figures of this scale. You can use it as a prop for your photography or whatever. Then you have a ProTech OTF blade. Basically, OTF is out the front, meaning that it's kind of like a switchblade, but the blade shoots directly out of the front. The name sounds very generic, ProTech, but it's actually a very pricey brand of knives. I do not own any myself, but I hear that they are extremely good blades. But they're a little out of my budget. Next, you get a Kel-Tec shotgun, which he did use in at least one of the movies. I can't remember the name of this. KSG, I believe. Actually, I think it's Kel-Tec KSG. I could be wrong, but I'm almost positive that's what it is. I believe it has an extremely high capacity. I think that's what the thing is. Plus, it's a bullpup, and I believe the shells actually come out of the stock. Again, I could be wrong, but all of the weapons are made out of a like metallic gray color, metallic like charcoal gray plastic, and some of them have some dry brushing, some of them have more, some of them have less. They're all decent looking. Some are a little bit better than others. Now, I have played with this figure a little bit. So I did actually take a piece of bungee cable, the type that you get when you buy a pair of work boots or something like that, where the tag is attached to the boots. So it's a stretchy material, and I just tied it around the buffer tube so that it's a single point sling. And this is a AR-15 looking firearm. There are a few problems that I have with this, but it does work. The stock seems too wide from your from here up looks too tall. From here up to your top rail, it looks too tall to me. I don't know. I don't believe this to be an exact replica of any AR type rifle that I can think of. And I'm not sure he actually uses this in the movie. An AR like this. He could, very well could have. I might have missed it, but stop doing that, camera. God damn it. Sorry about the goddamn it. But it's not bad. Not an exact replica, but it's not bad. Does have an EOTech. Yeah, it's definitely not bad. You can never have too many AR-15s for your figs. Unfortunately, most of my figures are in the 6-inch scale, or else the 4-inch GI Joe scale, like over there. You also get this bolt-action sniper rifle, which I believe is a 50 cal. I can't remember the maker of this rifle. I have seen it before. It is a real rifle. Although I think there are a couple of things that aren't quite correct. Cannot remember the name, but I'm almost positive that it starts with the MC. Like it's a mix something. Pretty nice. Again, I don't remember him using this in any of the movies, but I could just not be remembering something. I think there might be a scene. Whatever, who cares? So the last one is his puppy, little beagle dog. No, it's not articulated or anything. The paint on the face, the head and the face look really good. Not the biggest fan of the black spot. I think it could have been done a little bit better, with some texture or something. But overall, it's not bad. Now, had they put in something like this here, which is a K9 that I got from Marauders Gun Runners, that would have been awesome. It's completely articulated. Even has 2 different heads that you can put on it. But that would have raised the price point by a lot, because that's its own figure in itself. It would have made this dog its own figure in itself, so it would have increased the cost point by a lot. So it's understandable, and I just appreciate having the dog. I do think that the puppy in the movie was a lot smaller than this scale, but still works. You know, it fits in. You know, when you see the little puppy next to John Wick, you know exactly what it is. I think it's actually a really good looking figure. There's not very many blemishes or weird paint things. There's tiny spots where his hair are flesh color up by the up in this area, but everything else is pretty flawless. I typically don't go over articulation with the figures, or if I do, it's just like, here's the only difference in this figure compared to that figure, you know what I mean? Simply because there's channels that do it so much better than me. They have it down to a science, like Chartemis Prime for instance. Great channel if you love Marvel, like Marvel and DC comic book characters. You like the figures, that's definitely a channel that you need to check out. Is very good production and extremely funny. Of course, he does other figures other than just comic book, but his major bread and butter is the comic book characters. If you're into like horror figures and stuff like that, then one of my other favorites is Mr. Evil Cheese. He has a very good channel as well. A major reason that I don't usually go into the articulation is I'm usually kind of drunk, and it's it's hard for me to keep it in frame while I'm trying to like wiggle them around and show you stuff. So there are things in this articulation that I do think that you need to know whether if you're going to purchase this. So I'll give it a shot. So right off the bat, I think they paid too much attention to the legs, too much attention to the hips down. From the hips down, he has really good articulation. He can get kicks. He can do the splits. I don't think they paid enough attention to from the torso up. John Wick is a gung fu master. He's not a ninja. He's not Jean-Claude Van Damme. He's not doing splits and high roundhouse kicks or anything like that. So the articulation that you really need with him is going to be focused in the shoulders and getting a good connection between your hands. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to need to get him into gun poses, and this figure's not the best for that. If you look at, he has the Walking Dead Todd McFarlane leg articulation, or at least the hips. Has a thigh swivel, double jointed knees, can kick himself in the butt. His foot does go up a bit, goes down quite a bit, and it has actually really good ankle pivot. Here at the waist you have a swivel, and then it looks like he has an ab crunch, but he doesn't really. What he does have, if you get in here and hold, is just basically another swivel at the abdomen, which is kind of weird because you do also need a little bit of abdomen movement to get some really good, crouch down, standing square, rifle poses, gun poses. So that's something that you need a little bit of. Now on his head, you can get him to look up that much, almost only just straight on. His hair does interfere with that. You can get him to look down that much. You can spin the head all the way around, and you get just a slight bit of that action there. A little bit more when it's turned to the side, but you don't have an ab crunch, so you can't really get him over the sights, even standing sideways. So the arms go up that much. You can get them to spin all the way around. You have a bicep swivel, but it does leave some gappage the way they cut them. You have double jointed elbows. There we go. So he does fold up pretty good. He can pick his ear. Not his nose though. Got swivels on the hands. This hand goes in and out. Got the exact same thing on this arm, but this hand is going to go up and down. More down than up. Stop it, you stupid camera. So you get more action down than you do up. Let's see. Inside here have black arms, but you also have this like weird kind of like little black shield. And I kind of wonder if that wasn't there, if you might get a little bit more arm motion in, which is what you really need with this guy. Down here you're going to be able to see a little bit of white, but not too bad. I think they put that black in there just so you wouldn't see white in here. But like I said, what you really need is for his arms to be able to come over across him so that you can get the good gun poses. You know what I mean? You're just not like, you're not going to get the like real to life. You can work with it. I have gotten him into some pretty decent gun poses, but it's just not as good as I would like. There are figures of this guy that are in the 6-inch scale and do have the better arm articulation. They do have the butterflies in the shoulders that enable you to get to be able to get the arms touching each other and holding the weapons a little bit better. But they run a lot higher than this. This is a very low price point for the type of figure it is and the size of the figure that it is, and that's why I chose to go with this one. Now, do not get me wrong, I do like this figure a lot, and I think it's a really good looking figure, and there are a lot of poses that you'll be able to get him into, but he is lacking in his gung fu, and that is a bit of a disappointment. Now, depending on the angle, you can get him into some poses where it almost looks like he's actually looking down the sights of the AR, and you can get him into poses where he's firing the pistol one-handed. But with the shotgun, you're basically only going to get poses where he's carrying it, and with the sniper rifle, it's even less likely that you're going to get a good pose where he's actually firing it, just because of the way that it is and his shoulder articulation. Given the price point and the way the figure actually looks itself, I'm pretty happy. I am sad that I don't have anything in his scale that would be appropriate to display him with. He's pretty much going to be by himself until Diamond Select drops the casual John Wick and the John Wick #2 with the Pitbull. And then he's going to be on a shelf with 2 of himself, which is, I mean, I guess it's cool, but I would like to have him, you know, posed up fighting some people or something. But I just don't have any figures that fit that description. I think that's about it, guys. I think I covered everything I wanted to, so y'all have a good night. And try to stay out of trouble. Y'all just take it easy, alright? Alright, later.